Welcome back to Israel. I'm Doug Hershey, and we continue this journey of prophecy being fulfilled in our lifetime. An amazing thing that's happening in this land is the immigration. As we are seeing with the Aliyah Return Center and some of the Jewish immigration that's coming back from all over the world, the scriptures even talk about specific locations and specific peoples that will be coming back to the land that God promised. One of those is the land of the north. Jeremiah 3:18 says this, "In those days the people of Judah will join with the people of Israel, and together they will come together from the land of the north to the land that I gave your ancestors as an inheritance." Never before has there been immigration coming from the land of the north. Now, if you look on a map and you draw an arrow from the city of Jerusalem directly north, eventually you'll get to a small town called Moscow. A little bit further north, you'll find another small town called St. Petersburg. So if you know anything about Moscow or St. Petersburg, neither of them are small towns. But it's where two of the largest Jewish communities lived prior to the fall of the Soviet Union in 1989. Once the Soviet Union fell in 1989, the floodgates opened from the land of the north, and 1.2 million Russian Jews immigrated directly south to the land that God promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If you can imagine what that does to a population, Israel's population increased by 20% in 6 years between 1989 and 1995. To put that in perspective, in the United States, when the US government does a census every 10 years, they consider healthy population growth to be 3, 4, maybe 5%. This is 20% in 6 years, and they all came from the land of the north, directly south, back to the land that God promised their forefathers. As the fall of the Soviet Union happened in 1989 and the floodgates opened and people began flooding directly south to the land of their ancestors here in the land of Israel, many of them began bringing with them Russian delicacies and pastries and the arts and music and Russian literature, many of them settling along the coast of Israel in Tel Aviv, Netanya, Haifa, some places where it's not unusual to see Hebrew and Russian signs written together. Entire neighborhoods that speak completely Russian, but here in the land of Israel. If you remember from a previous session where we were with Chaim Malespin at the Aliyah Return Center, many are still continuing to come, and their stories are fascinating. Many that spoke with me that didn't want to be on camera told me their stories, and some told me of life was good in Russia even now, but I just had this overwhelming desire to move. Something was drawing me here. One woman just shrugged her shoulders and said, "Why shouldn't I come? I'm Jewish. I'm living in Russia, but the time just came. I need to be here in this land." Some didn't even know why they came. Life was good, business was going well, but there was something stirring within their hearts to come, and now they're here. Regardless of Jewish immigration, whether it was between 1989 and 1995 or things that are happening right now in this very day, all of these hearts have the same thing in common. The Jewish heart longs for this land, and the immigration from the north is amazing. God is fulfilling His word. He said in Jeremiah 3 He would bring His people back from the land of the north, and never before is it happening as it is right now. In this day, if you've been alive since 1989, the scriptures are being fulfilled in your lifetime in a dramatic way. This is only just one example of how God is restoring His people to the land, and there's many more to come. Join us here in the land of Israel to meet some of these people, see what God is doing in this land, but even more so, see how that you and I are living in a time when God is fulfilling His word. In the worksheet below, you'll see a little bit more information about Russian immigration or Jewish immigration, some of the things that the Russian community has added to Israel, and you'll see more about people returning from the land of the north. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next session.